Money. It's something we all use every day, but how much do we really understand the way we interact with it? Why do some people save every penny while others spend it the second it hits their account? Why do we buy things we don't need or fall into debt even when we know better? Today, we're diving into the psychology of money, why we spend the way we do. By the end of this video, you'll understand the hidden forces shaping your financial decisions, your emotions, your upbringing, your environment, and how to take back control. We'll use real-life stories, relatable experiences, and practical examples that might just change the way you think about money forever. On the surface, money seems simple. It's math. You earn, you save, you spend. But here's the catch. Money is never just numbers. It's emotions. It's status. It's security. Think about this. Have you ever gone shopping after a stressful day? Not because you needed something, but because it made you feel better? That's called retail therapy. Psychologists call it emotional spending, where the act of buying gives a temporary dopamine hit, like a reward. During the 2020 pandemic, online shopping skyrocketed. Millions of people were stuck at home, stressed and uncertain. Many admitted they bought gadgets, clothes, or random items they didn't need, just to feel a little in control of their lives. That's the psychology of money at work. Our money habits don't start when we get our first paycheck. They start in childhood. How your family talked about money, or didn't talk about it, plays a huge role in how you spend today. A study from the University of Cambridge found that money habits are set by the age of 7. For example, if you grew up hearing, "We can't afford that," you might develop a scarcity mindset, constantly saving, afraid to spend. On the other hand, if you grew up in a household where spending was careless, you might carry that same behavior into adulthood. I remember a friend whose parents lived paycheck to paycheck. Every time they had extra cash, they splurged because they feared it wouldn't last. Fast forward to today, my friend struggles to save because spending feels like the only way to enjoy life before the money disappears. That's not about math, that's psychology. One of the strongest forces behind why we spend is the need to signal status. We don't just buy things for ourselves, we buy them to show others who we are. The rise of luxury brands like Gucci, Louis Vuitton, or Rolex proves this. A $20 watch tells time just as well as a $5,000 one. So why do people spend the extra money? Because it signals success. A 2018 LendingTree survey showed that nearly 30% of millennials admitted to going into debt just to keep up with friends on social media. Vacations, new iPhones, designer clothes. Many were purchased not because they were needed, but because they didn't want to look broke online. This is called conspicuous consumption, a term coined over a century ago. And in today's world of Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube, the pressure to spend for status is stronger than ever. Our brains are wired to be emotional, not logical, with money. Fear, joy, anxiety. All of these impact our financial choices. Fear of missing out, FOMO, drives impulsive spending. Whether it's a Black Friday sale or a new crypto token, people rush in, afraid they'll miss their chance. During the GameStop stock frenzy in 2021, thousands of small investors jumped in, not because they understood the market, but because they didn't want to miss the wave. Many lost money, proving how emotions override rational thinking. On the flip side, money can bring joy. Think of buying your kid a gift and watching their reaction, or treating your parents to dinner for the first time. That's not about the price, it's about the emotional reward. The key is recognizing that every purchase has two costs: the financial cost and the emotional cost. Here's one of the biggest psychological traps: instant gratification. It's way easier to spend $50 on food delivery tonight than to save that same $50 for retirement 30 years from now. Our brains are hardwired to prioritize the present over the future, a concept psychologists call time discounting. The famous Stanford marshmallow experiment tested kids on whether they could wait for 2 marshmallows instead of eating one immediately. The kids who delayed gratification grew up to have better financial outcomes. In money terms, this explains why saving and investing is so hard. The reward of spending is immediate. The reward of saving is decades away. That's why so many people stay broke. They can't overcome the pull of instant gratification. So what can we do about all this? How do we fight against the psychological forces that push us to overspend and undersave? Here are 5 practical strategies. First, track your emotional triggers. Notice when you spend most, when you're stressed, bored, or celebrating. Awareness is the first step. Instead of shopping after a bad day, go for a walk, call a friend, or hit the gym. Second, create friction before spending. Make it harder to buy on impulse. Delete saved credit card info from online stores. That extra step gives you time to rethink. Third, use the 24-hour rule. Before making non-essential purchases, wait a day. Chances are, the urge will fade. Fourth, automate saving and investing. Remove willpower from the equation. Set up automatic transfers so your future is funded before you even think about spending. And fifth, redefine what money means. Instead of seeing it as just spending power, see it as freedom, security, and opportunity. I knew someone who used to spend thousands on the newest sneakers. One day, he reframed his thinking. Each $200 pair wasn't just shoes, it was a flight ticket to anywhere in the world. Suddenly, he started choosing experiences over things, and that shift changed his financial life. At the end of the day, money is less about numbers and more about behavior. We spend the way we do because of emotions, upbringing, social pressure, and the battle between short-term desires and long-term goals. But here's the good news. Once you understand the psychology of money, you can make it work for you instead of against you. So, let me leave you with this question. Next time you reach for your wallet or hit checkout online, ask yourself, why am I really spending this money? The answer might surprise you. And remember, mastering money starts with mastering your mind. If you found this helpful, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share it with someone who needs to hear it. And in the comments, let me know, what's the one spending habit you're trying to change right now?